Back in the 90s, people used point and shoot cameras to document things, and they did it very rarely. Construction as a whole wasn't very well documented, but today, the construction technology that we have is unreal. We have remote project management. You don't even need to step foot on site. And it's all thanks to little cameras like this. Today, we're gonna be talking about the Ricoh Theta X, a camera that I think every single contractor should have. This is gonna help you document your projects and keep track of them for later things. One thing I cannot stand is watching a video about a new product and just hearing spec after spec after spec. I can look all that up. Let's give you guys a real world example of why I use this camera, how I use this camera, and kind of show you a real world demo. That's the goal with this, is to show you not only why you should be using one of these, but how I use it. So I have got the Joby. This is actually a selfie stick, but it's got the little tripod legs at the bottom. Amazing. This is perfect for using a 360 camera because the 360 camera gets such a wide angle, literally 360. So this right here eliminates that. Being so small, you hardly see it at all. If you had a big tripod under here like the cameras I normally shoot with, man, oh man, you would see everything. That's not what we're going for. So let's give you guys a breakdown. And if you want to, click the link in the description down below. That's gonna take you to all the photos that I've taken today with this camera on site. If I was making a video, I could turn on the camera, walk out of the room, let it record for a bit and then come back in. But let's say I wanted to take photos, so I could stitch them all together and make that tour. All I'm gonna do is click over into the settings, hit self timer. I'm gonna go to 10 seconds. Gives me enough time to walk away and not run. So I've got it set up on a 10-second timer. I can take that picture, walk out of the room, and know that it's gonna get the shot. I'll stay right here to where you guys can hear what it sounds like so you know exactly what's going on. You can hear the countdown start. 7, 6, 5. Picture is taken. Click the link in the description down below to see all the photos that we take from today's video. There's also a 360-degree tour down there that you can check out as well. So click that and go look at it, see what you think. That way you can check out the quality, the audio quality, and more. Now let's do a quick walkthrough and show you guys what this camera looks like, what it's capable of, and more. But before we do that, when I look at construction technology, I like to think of one thing and one thing only. What are other construction companies doing? How can I step my game up? Imagine this, you have a client that lives out of state and you're building their home. They don't come out but once a month, if that. What would most construction companies do? That's what I like to ask myself. Most construction companies would snap a couple pictures on a phone and send them over. Very low quality, they don't get a good idea of what's going on. But now imagine you were able to send them a video like this that we're watching right now, where they could scroll around and see every aspect of their home being built. Not only is that going to help them visualize their project more and be more involved with it, but it's also going to help you as a contractor because you're able to go back and look at every single thing that has happened on that job site. And that is what I find really awesome about it. Let's do a quick walkthrough and check this place out. Instead of having generic photos where you're sending your client a picture of a couple walls being framed, imagine being able to send them this, where they can walk through with you and see everything in motion. They can see the framing happening. They can see just how big each room feels. That is a much more personalized experience for them, and they will be thankful. Now, I have a few examples of why documenting should be a huge part of every contractor's process. We have our drywallers come in, they drywall the inside of this building, a couple plugs get covered up, and we do not find them. We have electrical sitting in a box buried behind drywall. Where are they at? So before we have drywall going up, but we have all of our mechanical, electrical, and plumbing in, we can document with the Ricoh Theta X. And once the drywall is done, we can always go back to our footage that we took with the camera and see exactly where everything is supposed to go. I had a big siding project I was doing. We ended up burying a couple exterior plugs just because we were trying to get the place done quick. Nobody caught that mistake until painting was nearly through. We're walking through final and we're thinking, man, there should have been a plug over here. Nobody had taken any photos or videos of the project before siding went up, so nobody knew where the plug was supposed to be or where it could be. Had we documented with the Ricoh Theta X, we would have known exactly where it was and we could have fixed the problem with ease. So I don't know that they can make this camera any easier to operate. Let's run through it real quick. Bottom here, the little video camera symbol to camera symbol switches from photo to video and back and forth. Middle there is your quality. We're gonna switch back to video though. Auto in the bottom corner, you could change to shutter priority, ISO priority, or manual if you're more into advanced shooting where you're changing your exposure, your aperture, and more. If you're just a contractor looking to document projects like we're doing here, leaving it in auto will be best. The camera is awesome at automatically changing exposure to where you get the best possible picture. The little stopwatch there is for a 10-second timer, so you can click that, walk out of the room like we've demonstrated today. In the center there, it says 4K 30, 25 minutes. We're shooting in 4K at 30 frames per second for 25 minutes. If you want to connect to your phone, you swipe down. You can turn on Wi-Fi, you can turn on Bluetooth and GPS. You can also update your firmware from here, change your screen brightness, your shutter volume, change your Bluetooth settings. This is how you'll initially connect to the camera. You can format your memory card, reset all your settings, everything in here. If you need tutorials, you can click there and go straight into the app. Let's say you want to see what you've already shot. You've taken a lot of pictures, you've taken some videos, you want to review them. Just simply slide over and you can see everything. And you can pan on every single one of these. You can also watch the videos that you've recorded and change any time that you're watching to see exactly what you've got. It doesn't get much better than that. And the whole time you're able to utilize that 360 degrees and watch the whole video. You can see just how seamless the 360 shooting is. So if we go into photos and we go to the settings and you click the top, you're gonna see normal shooting, continuous shooting, time shift, interval, and multi-bracket shooting. Our two that we're gonna talk about today, our normal shooting up there at the top is our typical way of shooting. We're gonna set this up with a 10-second timer, click and walk out of the room. It's as easy as it gets. We also use interval shooting right down here and change the interval, which you'll see right here in the settings. Every 6 seconds, this camera will take a picture. You can change how many shots get taken, if you wanted 200, or if you want it to just snap photos until the camera either dies or the memory card is full, hit not specified. From there, all we have to do is hit record. The first photo is taken, and you can see it says interval shooting, shooting in progress. The second photo is taken. It'll do this over and over and over again and combine all of it into a time-lapse video. Those are my two favorite shooting modes. Multi-bracket, time shift, and continuous shooting is not something that we are using in the construction field. If you're not using the camera for an extended period of time, it automatically goes into a power saving mode. We'll see the screen go black, and it's currently saving power to where it's not just draining the battery. It'll happen in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's what we're seeing there. Currently says power saving mode activated. Once you click on the screen, camera goes back to normal. This thing is super easy to use. Power buttons right here. You can hit mode right here and switch from video to photo and back and forth. Charging port is right down here. I have a Type-C on my truck at all times, so I just plug this little thing in and it stays charged all throughout the day. One thing I really want to stress, since this is a 360 degree camera, the lens here and the lens here stick out farther than any part of the camera. With that being said, what'll happen is if this camera falls and hits the ground, it'll likely hit the lens first. If the camera rubs up against something, it's going to hit the lenses first. You want to take good care of it. It's a nice camera. It's not a camera that you're going to have every single day just thrashing on the thing. When you buy the camera, you get this nice little case for it. I highly suggest, if you are not shooting, power the camera off, slip this over the top of it, and now both the lenses there are protected and good to go. So let's show you guys how easy it is to set up the Wi-Fi on this camera. You have your Wi-Fi up top, you have your Bluetooth in the center, and then you have your GPS location over there. If you haven't ever connected before, you will have to take the time to do that, going into your Bluetooth settings and figuring that out. But I have already connected to this camera many, many times, so I don't have to go through any of that. So this is what the app looks like, super user-friendly. You can see us standing over here. You can control everything from here as well, all of your settings and much more. So I hear a lot of people say that they don't want to use a camera like this because they don't want to have to download the photos, edit everything, and then try to upload it somewhere, and that it's easiest to do from their phone. Well, check this out. Right now we've got the Theta app. We're going to open that up. and we can actually control every aspect of the camera, zooming in, zooming out, recording, taking pictures, switching all of our settings around right from the app. That, in my opinion, is one of the most awesome things. And then if we back out of that, we have our settings here. This is where it's going to tell you everything that's going on, your Wi-Fi connection. If you need to update your firmware, it looks like I do, along with anything else. The Theta 360 gallery is going to show you photos that other people have taken, and then they have a ton of tips. So you can use a selfie stick here, learn how to do it there, shooting in a self-timer mode. So if you have any questions, they're basically walking you through all of it. You have how to use advanced, which is going to show you more advanced ways of shooting. And then you finally have editing. In the middle here, we have the shooting button, which is going to take you back to that camera where you can actually click and record and do anything you want to right from your phone. And then on the left of that, we have camera images. This is the cool part. It's going to show you everything that you've ever shot with this camera. So if you go to the top there, you can see not transferred, transferred, and then all. Not transferred are files that are still on the camera with the memory card that you can click and transfer to your phone to have availability for offline. So for instance, with the transferred, we can click and see everything that we've ever done here. All the photos, all the videos, and more. These are the photos we took in the garage earlier. This is the one where we walked outside, and I was actually standing behind that pillar there. And if we zoom out, the reason I said I like that selfie stick is because the only thing you could see is just the 3 little legs that are on the ground. You could zoom these photos out as much as you want to. And this is what I think is awesome. If you sent this to a client, they would be over the moon. And lastly, we can go over to device images where you'll find all the images that are transferred over to the actual phone itself. These will be stored on your phone rather than on the camera. So if you have things that you've shot that you want to keep and you want to have access to them without having the camera on, this is where you'll have them, is on the device images. Let's say we wanted to save this picture here. We can click up in the top right-hand corner. You can share without specifying the orientation, which means that the person that's viewing it can actually slide around and see. You can share with current orientation, which is going to show the image as it sits, or share using other methods, which will allow you to save or text the photo to somebody else. So plenty of sharing options directly from your phone. So that's going to wrap up our review here on the Ricoh Theta X. I think it is an amazing camera with super high quality. I love that the audio is built into it, which makes it so you don't have to have a microphone. I think the quality is perfect for anybody and everybody. Like I said, realtors are already using the Ricoh Theta X to do all of their walkthroughs, their 360 virtual tours, and things like that. Bringing the Theta X to the construction industry is going to be big. As a contractor, we're always sharing photos, and it's always limited to the typical phone picture. Never has good quality. You can't ever see much, and most of the time, you don't even know what you're looking at. The Ricoh Theta X is going to allow you to send high quality photo and video to your clients for them to see. And not only that, they're going to be able to swipe around the picture in 360 formatting and see everything. I think it is an absolute game changer, and you don't have to be tech savvy in order to use it. It's probably one of the best perks of this camera. Link to the little tripod that I'm using here and the camera in the description down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tech review. If you want to, there is a full walkthrough with this camera and the audio in the description down below. I highly suggest you go check it out, see exactly what this thing can do. And also down there as well, there is a full folder of photos that we've taken today with this camera to show you exactly what you're going to be getting. I also want to thank Ricoh for sending me out this camera and sponsoring today's video to allow me to show you guys what is coming in construction tech. This little camera here that is smaller than my hand and this little tripod will allow you to send photo and video better than you've ever done it before. Everything that you need to know is down in the description down below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, thumbs up, subscribe button's down there as well. Any comments regarding the camera or other camera gear that we're shooting with, drop them in the comments and I will get back to you. My name is Matt Pinello with MattBangsWood. I'll see you guys next time. Bang on.